Four-time F1 world champion. 62 Grand Prix wins, youngest race winner in history, and a $6.4 million car collection that almost nobody talks about. Max Verstappen keeps his garage completely private. No social media flexing, no dealership photo ops, just a silent acquisition of some of the rarest machines ever built. Aston Martin Valkyrie, Ferrari Monza SP2, purchased a Porsche GT3 RS at just the age of 18. Each one tells the story of a driver who doesn't buy cars to impress people. He buys them because they feel like his F1 car. This is the collection Max doesn't show you, and every car reveals something about the most dominant driver in modern Formula One. Aston Martin Valkyrie. Let's start with the crown jewel, the car that makes everything else in the garage look pedestrian. The Aston Martin Valkyrie, $3.5 million, only 175 units built worldwide, and Max Verstappen owns one because of course he does. But here's what makes this car insane. It wasn't designed by a car company. It was co-engineered by Red Bull Racing and Adrian Newey, the aerodynamics genius behind Max's championship-winning F1 cars. This isn't a hypercar inspired by F1 technology. This is F1 technology forced into a street-legal shell. The engine, 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12 that screams to 11,000 RPM. The same red line as an F1 engine from the early 2000s. Combined with a hybrid system, total output hits 1,140 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. Top speed, 250 miles per hour. But the numbers don't tell the real story. The Valkyrie's cockpit is designed exactly like an F1 car. You don't sit in it, you wear it. The seating position is almost horizontal. The steering wheel is removable just like in Max's Red Bull. The aerodynamics generate so much downforce at speed that the car could theoretically drive upside down on a ceiling. For Max, this isn't a collector's piece. This is the closest thing to driving his RB19 on public roads. Reports suggest he actually drives it, which is rare for Valkyrie owners. Most keep them in climate-controlled garages as investments. Max takes his through the tunnels of Monaco at speeds that would get normal drivers arrested. The Valkyrie represents everything about Max's collecting philosophy. He doesn't want luxury. He wants performance that reminds him why he became a driver in the first place. Ferrari Monza SP2. Now let's talk about the car that breaks Max's no social media rule. Because the Ferrari Monza SP2 is so rare and so beautiful that even Max couldn't resist showing it off. Once, $1.8 million, only 499 units worldwide, and it's not even road legal in the United States. You'd have to import it under a show or display permit as a literal piece of art. The Monza SP2 is Ferrari's tribute to their 1950s racing heritage. Roofless, no windshield, open cockpit, just you, a 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12, making 809 horsepower, and the wind trying to rip your helmet off at 186 miles per hour. 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. But that stat misses the point entirely. This car isn't about acceleration times. It's about experiencing speed the way drivers did 70 years ago. No electronic nannies, no traction control, just mechanical connection between human and machine. The interior is minimalist racing design. Carbon fiber everywhere. 2 seats molded to your body. A steering wheel that feels lifted from a 1950s Grand Prix car. The only modern concession is the digital display showing speed and RPM. Max reportedly bought this car because it's the closest legal equivalent to an open-wheel racer you can drive on European roads. For someone who spends 23 weekends a year in an F1 cockpit, the Monza SP2 feels like coming home. Except this time, there's no team radio, no pit strategy, just pure, unfiltered driving. The car shares garage space with his other Ferraris, creating what might be the most impressive Italian corner outside of Maranello itself. Ferrari 488 Pista. Speaking of Ferrari, let's talk about Max's track-focused missile, the 488 Pista. Pista means track in Italian, and Ferrari wasn't being subtle. This car exists for one purpose, obliterating lap times. 3.9-liter twin-turbo V8, 710 horsepower, 568 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds. Top speed, 211 miles per hour. But those numbers still don't capture what makes the Pista special. Weight, or rather, the lack of it. Ferrari stripped 90 kilograms compared to the standard 488 GTB, carbon fiber body panels, lighter wheels, Racing seats. Even the carpets are thinner, every gram removed in the name of speed. The result? The Pista lapped Ferrari's Fiorano test track in 1 minute 21.5 seconds. That's 3.4 seconds faster than the Ferrari Enzo, the legendary Ferrari Enzo. And the Pista destroyed its time using modern engineering and obsessive weight reduction. Max's Pista comes in classic Ferrari red, because when you're buying a track-focused Ferrari, you don't get creative with colors. You get red. You get the heritage. You respect the legacy. Reports suggest Max uses this car for private track days when F1 takes breaks, because apparently driving the fastest cars in the world for 20-plus weekends a year isn't enough. He needs more speed during downtime. The hybrid monster, Ferrari SF90 Stradale, Assetto Fiorano. Max's most advanced Ferrari isn't the loudest or rarest, it's the smartest. The SF90 Stradale combines a 769-horsepower twin-turbo V8 with 3 electric motors to produce 986 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.1 seconds, quarter mile in 9.6. This is Ferrari blending hybrid tech with race car violence. The Assetto Fiorano package makes it even wilder. Carbon fiber panels, titanium springs, and track-spec Michelin Cup 2 tires. The result? A Fiorano lap time of 1 minute 19 seconds, quicker than La Ferrari. Max was spotted inspecting one at a Monaco dealership in Rosso Fuoco. Whether he signed the papers doesn't matter. It fits his pattern perfectly, always chasing the cutting edge, never the nostalgia piece. The first reward, Porsche 911 GT3 RS. To understand Max's garage, you have to start in Barcelona, 2016. He wins his first F1 race at 18 and immediately wants a Porsche 911 GT3 RS. Rear-wheel drive, naturally aspirated flat-six, razor-sharp steering. The car for people who care about driving, not posing. Silver paint, black wheels, yellow calipers. Understated, but lethal. Mark Webber even confirmed the purchase publicly because everyone in the paddock knew. This was the right first supercar for a kid who wasn't just talented. He was inevitable. Max still owns it today. The racing heritage, Renault RS01. Buried among the hypercars is a curveball, the Renault RS01, a track-only GT machine built in tiny numbers. Carbon chassis, GTR, derived twin-turbo V6, 550 horsepower, racing slicks. Only a handful exist, and Max drives his like it's meant to be driven. It represents his early Red Bull Renault years, but more importantly, the car behaves like a scaled-down F1 machine. Brutal grip, instant response, no nonsense. You don't buy an RS01 to show off. You buy it because street cars can't scratch the itch that racing machinery does. The Aston Martin Collection. Max doesn't just own one Aston Martin. He owns 4, and each serves a different purpose in his mental hierarchy of driving experiences. Aston Martin DBS Superleggera, the Grand Tourer. 5.2-liter twin-turbo V12, 715 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds. Top speed, 211 miles per hour. This is the car Max uses when he actually needs to bring passengers. 4 seats, comfortable interior, leather everywhere, but don't mistake comfort for softness. This is still a 715 horsepower missile that sounds like controlled explosions. Aston Martin DB11. The slightly more refined option, 5.2-liter twin-turbo V12, 600 horsepower, intelligent cylinder deactivation for efficiency, 8-speed automatic. This is James Bond's car. Max owns it because sometimes you want the presence of a V12 without the aggression of the DBS. Aston Martin Vantage, the driver-focused option, 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, sourced from Mercedes-AMG, 503 horsepower, 50-50 weight distribution. Rear-wheel drive. This is the Aston you buy when you care more about corners than straight-line speed. Alcantara interior, carbon fiber trim, paddle shifters, everything oriented toward the driver. The pattern is obvious. Max doesn't collect Aston Martins because they're prestigious. He collects them because each one offers a different driving character. The DBS for touring, the DB11 for elegance, the Vantage for attacking mountain roads, and the Valkyrie for transcending what road cars should be capable of. The Practical Daily, ABT Audi RS6 Legacy Edition. Now here's the plot twist. With a garage full of million-dollar hypercars, what does Max Verstappen actually drive day to day? An Audi RS6 wagon. Specifically, the ABT Audi RS6 Legacy Edition. One of only 200 units built, tuned by ABT Sportsline to produce 750 horsepower from a twin-turbo V8. 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. But here's the genius. It's a wagon. It has a trunk, back seats, cargo space. You can take it to the grocery store. You can throw golf clubs in the back. You can drive it in the rain without worrying about scraping carbon fiber splitters. The RS6 represents Max's practical side, the part of him that lives in Monaco and needs a car that works for daily life. But even his practical choice makes 750 horsepower, because of course it does. This is the Max Verstappen philosophy distilled. Even your boring daily driver should be capable of destroying supercars. What Max doesn't keep. The collection is impressive, but what's more revealing is what Max has sold or never bought in the first place. He owned a Honda Civic Type R, the hot hatch, front-wheel drive, practical. He drove it 36,350 miles, which for a supercar collector is absurd. Most exotics never break 5,000 miles. Max used the Civic as an actual car. Then in 2021, he sold it and donated the money to charity. He also owned a Mercedes-AMG C63S, briefly, less than a year, then sold it at auction. Why? Because it didn't offer anything unique. It was fast, but not special. If a car doesn't have a purpose in Max's mental framework, it doesn't survive. He doesn't own a Lamborghini, doesn't own a Bugatti, doesn't own any of the typical new money flexes that young athletes gravitate toward, because those cars are about showing off. Max's collection is about driving, the private jet and beyond. The car collection is just one piece. Max also reportedly owns a Dassault Falcon 900EX private jet, purchased from Richard Branson. Cost undisclosed, but similar models trade for $10 to $15 million. He owns a custom super yacht, lives in a Monaco penthouse valued at over $15 million. His total net worth sits around $210 million at age 27. But unlike other athletes, Max doesn't broadcast any of it. No yacht photos on Instagram, no jet selfies. The only time we learn about his purchases is when journalists spot him at dealerships or when he's forced to register vehicles. This is calculated privacy. Max has watched what happens to athletes who live their entire lives on social media. The scrutiny, the criticism, the constant performance of wealth. He wants none of it. His cars are for him, not for you, not for likes, not for validation, just for the pure experience of driving machines that exist at the absolute edge of engineering. 6.4 million in cars, 4 world titles, and almost no posts showing any of it. That's the Max Verstappen paradox. While others flex supercars online, he quietly drives machines most people will never see. His garage isn't about wealth. It's about experiencing every form of speed a human can touch. If you want more stories like this, hit the next video.